Hello, I'm Simon Gatt here at the Malta Stock Exchange. I'm talking to Dr. Arthur Gallia Salamone, its chairman. Hello, Dr. Gallia Salamone. First of all, the Malta Stock Exchange is close to 20 years old now. It started with very small beginnings. How is it doing and where is it going?
Good morning, Simon. Yes, as you correctly point out, the Stock Exchange is a relatively young institution. We are now approaching our 20th anniversary. In these 20 years, we've seen impressive growth. We started off listing government bonds. Today, we list a range of securities. Just to give you an indication of some figures, 2009 was a record year in terms of primary listings. We had issues amounting in value to 800 million euros. We also had 61 issues of treasury stock amounting to 1.6 billion. Considering that we were in the midst of a financial crisis, those figures are not insignificant. It looks like we'll surpass 2009 figures for 2010. As of September of this year, we've already had issues amounting to 765 million. And if we look at our tentative listing calendar, it looks like we may approach the 1 billion euro mark by the end of the year. So the stock exchange is really proving to be an effective alternative means to raise finance. And these figures obviously say a lot about investor confidence.
That is very good. So can I ask you, how many investors do you have? And can you give me an indication of where they come from?
Yes, currently there are something in excess of 70,000 investors registered on our CSD. So that accounts for approximately 1/3 of the adult population in Malta. Most of these would have both equity and fixed income holdings. So we are really very proud of our penetration rate.
Clearly, the exchange has matured very well. Domestically, you're very secure, but are you doing anything at this point then to look beyond the domestic market?
So yes, our marketing initiatives are really two-pronged. Whilst retaining our feet realistically on the local ground and seeking to sustain domestic business, we are also obviously very keen to carve out an international niche for the exchange. We've spent a lot of time and effort in the past years establishing the reputation of the Malta Stock Exchange. We have been very successful. This is also attested to by our membership of international standard-setting organizations such as the World Federation of Exchanges, the Federation of European Securities Exchanges. Only recently, FTSE has accepted our equity market as part of the Global Equity Index series, and that comes in the wake of a thorough assessment which confirmed that we satisfy all eligibility criteria for frontier status. So we are now seeking to leverage this reputation. We find that we can carve out a niche for ourselves in the international market, either by promoting the exchange as a venue of choice for the listing of funds, or alternatively by projecting the exchange as a platform for entry into the EU capital market, particularly by issuers emanating from outside the EU, by utilizing the prospectus directive to the full.
Presumably, one thing that investors would be looking for and issuers would be looking for would be participation in some sort of international clearing schemes. What are you doing on that?
Yes, investors obviously have a long list of boxes they would like to tick before they decide to take the plunge. And Malta, I find, ticks off all of the boxes which are typically found on an investor's checklist. So we're talking about a developed legal system, a highly developed operational infrastructure, cost competitiveness, accessibility, availability of top-notch professionals. Clearly, accessibility is very important. Only last month we signed up with Clearstream, and we are on stream to clear all of the obstacles which will enable us to participate in the international CSD. We are also in active discussion with CSD in order to explore whether our participation in Clearstream can in fact facilitate our migration to T2S. We have also signed up to the MOU confirming our intention to participate in T2S. Discussions are ongoing, and when T2S is launched, we will be there together with all or most of the other Eurosystem CSDs.
So together with the listing on the FTSE index and with this Clearstream, you are now in a very good position to deal with foreign investors here.
Yes, we are. As I said, this was a two-pronged approach, so we spent a lot of time in the past years establishing both our reputation and putting in place all of the infrastructural capability which will now facilitate access and interest by international investors and issuers alike.
In this context, what does the Malta Stock Exchange have to offer specifically to foreign business,
well, as I said,
value proposition?
As I said, we tick off most of the boxes which should typically be on investors' checklist. We can also differentiate ourselves in terms of our size, though this is sometimes perceived as a disadvantage. In fact, it is an advantage, particularly in the kind of boutique services we can offer to small cap companies which sometimes find participation in larger exchanges overwhelming. Also, the interface between our trading and CSD and registration systems provides a one-stop shop service which is very important, especially in cross-border transactions. Malta has proved in the recent financial crisis that we have all it takes to weather the storm admirably well. We have not faced the problems other jurisdictions faced, and this was not coincidental. It's attributable to a number of facts, including sound regulation and supervision, and the fact that operators and issuers locally generally embrace fundamental values of prudence, reasonableness, fairness of treatment of investors, and integrity. It is increasingly being realized that regulatory reform is not sufficient in order to address the issues that the world has faced. This must also be accompanied by heightened risk management and corporate governance, which will hopefully restore ethics to economic and corporate behavior. We find that there are lots of lessons to be learned from this crisis. One of the fundamental lessons that now, more than ever before, it is reputation built on sound ethical behavior that will differentiate one capital market from another, one issuer from another, and one financial services system for another. And Malta and the exchange has proven that we've got all of it takes to inspire confidence which an investor is after, even within the context of a crisis.
On that note, thank you very much, Dr. Galia Salamone.
A pleasure. Thank you for taking the time to come and see us.